So parts of the province are underwater. The bad weather continued this weekend following days already of torrential downpours and harsh winds. We've had flooding reported in Belgravia, Gugulethu, Somerset West, Klipheuwel and Philippi. To discuss, we're joined now by Executive Mayor of Cape Town, Geordin Hill-Lewis. Mayor, thank you for being with us. Let's start with the cost in terms of lives. We have been reporting that this has been fatal. Can you update us?
Fortunately, the situation has been very good inside the city. We have had no loss of life inside the city. I have heard, yes, sadly, that a member of the public has lost their life in the Swellendam area. I heard another one unconfirmed in the Drakenstein area, I believe. So there have been a couple of fatalities, sadly, but we have to be grateful that in the city, despite some rescues, City Fire and Rescue have had to go and pull some people out, but no fatalities so far.
And some of those rescues, we understand, have been dramatic. People sort of standing on close to rushing water and just being taken away. Are the men and women who are out there doing their best?
Oh, I'm always blown away and always so proud of Cape Town Fire and Rescue and disaster management. The work that they do is just incredible. It really does bring enormous pride and warmth to one's heart. And every time I see them in action, I am, that feeling is renewed. So they have done a tremendous job this week, saved many people's lives, saved lots of property, and they are still, even though the worst of the weather is past us, they are still out there working right now, dealing with some of the visuals that you have on screen, because there are many people living with huge amounts of water in their homes and streets.
How many people have actually had to leave their homes? So we understood that there were informal settlements on several of the highways affected, and then of course the Cape Flats. What's the situation?
Well, I don't have a precise number, but I know that several hundred people inside the city have had to relocate, either to friends and family or in some cases to community halls that we've allowed to be opened for that purpose. Some have had to move their informal structures. So it is several hundred people, and there are still many thousands of people who may not have relocated or may not have been evacuated, but who are still living ankle deep or even calf deep or knee deep in water in some parts of the city. Really tough situation, and there are just hundreds of city workers out and about right now, busy trying to get that water to drain away as quickly as possible, using every creative means in the book, including using excavators to dig channels for water to flow and so on.
It may be different in the Cedarburg, where Gift of the Givers are, or Citrusdale, but in Cape Town, could anyone actually be trapped, or is that not the situation?
Well, for a small time, the city as a whole was in a way trapped, because all of the incoming roads, and the outgoing roads, the passes and highways, were all closed in the worst part of that storm. Fortunately, they are open again, and so the city is not trapped anymore, and there's no parts of the city which are inaccessible. It's definitely the case that the mountainous regions around Stellenbosch, Paarl, and the Cedarburg got the absolute worst of this weather, and I know that my colleagues there, mayors there, have had a really terrible time of it. And as you said, as you reported earlier, a couple of people may have lost their lives. But in Cape Town, we got very, very heavy downpours, but none of that terrible damage to property that we saw elsewhere.
All right, so what happens now? You're saying the weather is getting better, thank goodness. Do you expect that to clear up, to continue to clear up into the week? And what help are you offering to those in halls? What sort of cleanup are you looking at in terms of infrastructure as well? We know there are trees, damaged roads, etc.
Trees, we had many trees fallen in the city. Those have all been cleaned up and sorted out. We have lots of damaged roads still. Those will take some time to sort out. There's no point in even starting that work while it is still raining. You have to wait for reasonably dry conditions. So that work will take many weeks to sort out. The the priority at the moment is to get people's homes dry and get the water to drain away in communities where it is pooling. There are lots of low-lying parts of the city where water naturally pools, and when you have this much rain, it pools in vast quantities. And so there we are using pumps. I think you had an image of one of our pumps in Cape Town that looks like a Cape Town team working there, pumping water with a big industrial pump. We have many of those across the city trying to pump water out. And the hope is that the rain stays away long enough for those pumps to actually make a difference. Because, of course, if it starts raining again, then you really are back at square one. So it'll be important to just watch the forecast over the next few days. I think it unfortunately is going to rain some more, but nothing like the torrential downpour we had last week. And hopefully that our teams, our pumps, all of those efforts that we are making can get ahead of the rain curve, so to speak.